Hi everyone, and welcome to my free marketing masterclass, quick and easy ways to create compelling content. So yeah, as I've said, this is a session open to the public. It is actually a training session in my membership, the Authentic Business Club. So we've got a few of the members here as well today. So what I'd love you all to do so that I can tailor my kind of help and advice for you is if you share in the chat briefly what you do. So just literally, you know, I'm a VA, I'm a holistic therapist, whatever, and share what you struggle with around marketing content. So what is your biggest struggles around creating it, sharing it, coming up with ideas or whatever, so that when we kind of go through the session, you'll be able to ask questions, but I'll be able to tailor kind of examples and things like that, and help you kind of directly. So if you can pop that in the chat, so just what you do, what you struggle with around marketing content, that would be great. And I'm just going to check who I've got. Welcome, lovely members. I've got Alison. Lesson, just going to mute. And Jane is here as well, I think. So yeah, great. Let's have a look at who we've got. Hi, Erin. Erin is a virtual assistant with social media niche. Drying out with coming up with new ideas because all my mojo goes on my clients. Yeah, I bet, because you're constantly coming up with ideas for them. But actually, it's a common thing is that it's easy to come up with ideas for other people, but not always easy to come up with ideas for our own business. So a little bit into the session, we're going to do a small group ideas kind of brainstorming little session. So yeah, so hopefully some people can help you come up with more ideas for you and your business. Hi Jennifer, leadership coach and newly published author. Congratulations. Key challenge is to get some new ideas for creating content for promoting my book. Excellent. Wild Egg, a story of one woman's search for her child-free life. Wow, that sounds amazing. So I'm just going to make notes so that I know who's got it. Okay. Teresa, hi Teresa, thanks for joining. I'm a personal travel consultant, strugglers that have too much content. Really? Too much content? Is that all just pictures of people on holiday and pictures of you on holiday and pictures of nice beaches and things? I'd love to know. Too much content, that's an interesting one. Hi Tanya, thanks for joining. Retrain is a copywriter. Been a childminder for 14 years. Okay, completely new to marketing, so a bit daunted by it all. Yeah, totally get that. It can feel like it's such a big topic. So yeah, I will hopefully help you come up with at least some ideas on this little bit of the whole topic of marketing. But yeah, I like to try and make things kind of simple for people. Hi to Jane. Jane's one of our members. She's an Alexander Technique teacher and embodied meditation teacher. Struggle with ideas and how long it takes, to prepare the content. So it's getting the idea and then it's like, how long does it take to actually create the piece of content? Joanna, hi Joanna, sleep practitioner and nurse, prescriber, businesses, Why Sleep and the Sleep Retreat. To struggle with consistency of posting and increasing my reach. Yeah, there's a big one for everyone, particularly on social media. So one of the things I want to just say is, although we're talking about content and you know, we're generally talking about social media, it isn't just for social media. So content could be for emails, for your email list, it could be for blogs, it could be for lead magnets, it could be for like free webinars, like content. It's kind of, it could be about lots of different things. So I'm generally going to kind of say post, but I mean post or video or email, or it could be, you know, any different kind of format. But yeah, I get it. Social media particularly is a big one and reach for a lot of people. So sleep consultant. Hi Helen, is one of my lovely clients. So she offers Canva training to female entrepreneurs and business owners. So yeah, thank you for joining. And Louise, a flower farmer, lovely. Sell bouquets and workshops, struggle with identifying ideal client and writing content for them. Fabulous. We are going to cover a lot of that. So workshops, great. And then Alison, another member and client of mine, she does these amazing one-to-one sessions called Feeling Colours, which is an experiential journey with colour. struggles to find ways to be interesting to the audience. Oh, wow. And rather than focused on what I want to share. Yeah, I don't want it to be all about me. Yeah, totally. And it's one of the biggest mistakes that people, they just don't know what to share that will be interesting and useful for their audience. So they kind of just think, well, do I have to share about me? And then people say you have to be honest and vulnerable and authentic and all of that. And then we get really confused over like, well, what am I supposed to be sharing? Also don't want to be boring with your call to action. Right, we're going to cover calls to action. So welcome, Sarah, welcome, thanks for joining. She runs an amazing membership that I'm a member of for female small business owners and struggles to be organized and consistent and like others' ideas. Yeah, great with other businesses. Yeah, exactly. Ria, hello, welcome, coach in hospitality industry. Okay. Coach hospitality, struggles with content for emails and LinkedIn. Yeah, will not be using Facebook. That's fine. Very daunted by it all too. Yeah, also help pub managers use Facebook. Okay, so you kind of help them with Facebook and content and stuff. Okay, great. And another struggle from Helen, struggle to get organized and choose content that my customers would like. Yeah. Switch camera on later. No, that's fine. Bethan is another member of ours in the Authentic Business Club. So she's a shadow work coach and she runs intimacy workshops. So a block that I'm currently aware of is believing what I have won't be of interest. This, yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? No, you don't have to be on the screen. That's totally fine. Yeah, Alison's totally resonating with that. Can we share contact details at the end, please? There's a few women I think I need. Yeah, absolutely. Happy for people to share contact details. I think of the best way to do it. Yeah, why don't we do it at the end? Yeah, and then yeah, let's do that at the end and everyone can share their details. So, because I want to dive into the content. So what I'm going to cover today is basically 4 things. Learning what to talk about that will resonate with your ideal clients and what they will find interesting. You're going to generate tons of ideas by working in small groups. You're going to learn 3 easy structures for posts. I say posts, again, I mean video or email or anything. So you can turn an idea into a post quickly and easily. And I'm going to talk about using calls to action in a way that feels good, because a lot of us can feel a bit icky about, like, you know, putting a call to action on every single post or whatever, you know, can just feel a bit like. So let's dive in. So we're going to talk about what will resonate with your ideal clients. And this always comes from you having a deeper understanding of your ideal client and really knowing where they are, what they're struggling with, what they want instead, what they don't know, what do they get confused about, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go through some questions and give you a little bit of time so you can kind of brainstorm a couple of things for each of those questions, just to draw out some of these, some ideas, because you can literally create a piece of content about anything, like any idea. So for most of you, you've probably got just one ideal client. If you've kind of got a couple of ideal clients or you're not really sure, just think about the ideal client for your main offer. So your higher end offer, your coaching package, your whatever it is, okay? If you work kind of mostly one-to-one and a bit ad hoc, then A, let's talk, and B, just think about your ideal client. So the basics. So the first question to think about and make some notes on is, what problems or challenges are your ideal clients having right now, obviously that's related to your topic area and what you help them with, right? So really think, what are their main challenges that you can help them with? And just, it doesn't have to be loads, but just 2 or 3 challenges. What are their main things? And you could think, if it's sort of applicable to you, you could think generally, of course, but you could also think about, what problems are they having right now? Like, we're always in a quite an interesting current climate, okay? But we've got rising energy bills and inflation. We've got health concerns off the back of COVID, etc. You know, we're in a bit of a shift from sort of summer to winter. Maybe that's relevant for you. Maybe it's the stress of the summer holidays, although, you know, they're nearly finished. But, you know, there's all these sort of things that are going on in the lives of your ideal clients. So you could think about, what problems or challenges are they having right now in 2022. You know, it's August, like whatever kind of yeah, resonates for you. Like, are they planning for Christmas? Is that a thing that they're working on? You know, are they, yeah, they're worried about where their next clients are coming from? Are they, I don't know, they're getting married? Are they thinking about, you know, bouquets for the flower farmer? You know, are they, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, what are their concerns and their worries right now? So I'll just give you a minute to make some notes on that. And if at any point you've got questions, then just pop them in the chat. I can't see all of you, so you might not, don't wave your hand at me because I might not be able to see you. So what problems or challenges are they having right now? Obviously that are related to what you do. And then the next kind of layer with that is, it's really interesting to think about, how are these problems affecting different areas of their life, right? So how is it affecting their business, their relationships with their, you know, family, partner, kids, work relationships, whatever? How is it affecting their health? So it could be their mental health, their physical health, emotional health, spiritual health. How is it affecting their well-being, or their relationship with money, or how much money they've got? How is it affecting their career or their work? Like, how is it affecting their kind of fulfillment and their sort of purposeful feeling in life, right? So you could really think about the problems, and then how is that actually affecting them? So it's like, what is the knock-on effect of those problems? I'll just give you a minute. And the next one is, what do they want to achieve right now? So again, like, what are their goals? What do they want instead of, you know, the thing that is a problem? Yeah, what do they want to achieve around the thing that you help them with? So their health, their business, you know, whatever. What is it that they really want to achieve right now? Okay, and then the next one is, what specific benefits will they get from working with you, joining your membership, consuming your offer, signing up to your workshop, you know, whatever it is? Like, what are the specific benefits that they will get from working with you? So you can think about, what are they going to be able to do that they can't do now? You know, what results are they going to get? What is going to have changed in their life, in their health, in their business, that whatever that is that you help them with? But be specific. Okay, so what benefits will they get from working with you? You know, and that can be relaxation, peace, you know, a sense of well-being. It could be more, you know, much more sort of tangible than that. And look at, so we've got a sleep consultant, you know, what are the specific benefits they could get? Is it going to be like, literally for the first time in 2 years, are they going to get a good night's sleep? I mean, I know you can't always promise these things, but you know, like what do people generally, what are the results that people generally get from working with you? You know, so Tanya, copywriter, it's like, okay, they're not just going to get good copy, they're not just going to have copy that they feel proud of, but we're like, what does that give them? What does it help them do? What does it enable, you know what I mean? Like, what does it enable? It isn't always just that first benefit of sort of, you know, what they kind of learn. It's like, well, what does that help them actually then do? Okay, and then the next one, and obviously you can, you know, do this as homework as well. That's what is stopping them from achieving their goals or getting the help they need, right? So either they're not clear on their goals, or they're trying to do it themselves, or there's a emotional, mental block, or whatever, like whatever it is. Okay, how can you help them with these blocks in your marketing? Because this is really interesting to talk about in marketing, is if you can help them have clarity around what is in the way, what is stopping them from achieving their goals, or what is stopping them from getting the help that they need. Yeah, so what is stopping them from getting the help they need or from achieving their goals? Is it a mental block? You know, is it a money block? Is it a emotional block? Is it, what is it? Is it a lack of knowledge? Is it a lack of understanding?
Hils, can I ask a question?
Of course.
It's Bethan. It is a belief.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what about indecision?
Absolutely. Anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Anything can be what is stopping them. So you could do a whole post about indecision. You could do one post about indecision, right? You could talk, you could give examples, you could tell stories. You know, that one word can kind of spark, you know, lots of different pieces of content. If that's one of the biggest things that they kind of, you know, that's in the way of them achieving their goals, absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Great.
good one. Yeah, it's a good one, because that's what I find a lot with my ideal clients. It's procrastination, it's overthinking, it's, you know, all of that stuff. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And then the last question in this section is, why are you great at helping them with these problems or helping them achieve these goals? Like, why you? I'm going to challenge you to, yeah, write a few things down about why are you great at helping them with this? Okay. So in a moment, I'm going to put you into small groups. So you're going to be in a group of 4, and you're going to have 5 minutes each. Okay. So you need to obviously share briefly with the group, like, what is it you do? Who do you help? Like, what are the problems that you solve? But the less that you talk, the more that they will have time to offer suggestions and brainstorm ideas for you. So yeah, just you have 5 minutes each. So however you want to use that time to just brainstorm ideas for each of you, so that hopefully you all walk away with a bunch of, whether that's like a frequently asked question, or you know, you might kind of go, yeah, I don't really understand what that is. Like, what do you do, or what modalities do you use, and how do you get those results? And you know, so when you hear the person going, oh, I'm a leadership coach or whatever, you're like, what does that mean? Like, who do you have? You know, so it's like every single one of those, everything that they say, you can turn into a piece of content. So make lots and lots of notes. Make sure that you, yeah, just have a really good brainstorm. Make sure you switch person every 5 minutes. I'm going to try and pop a message in. I haven't actually used breakout rooms before, but I think I can message the rooms and say like, time to switch. And then you'll see a little countdown timer before coming back to the main room. So you'll be on the last person then. And if you want my help, there's a little, I think if you click on the breakout rooms icon, you can click ask for help. And then I can pop into your room. So I won't be in any of the rooms. I'll leave you kind of to it. Does everybody kind of understand what they need to do? So 5 minutes each. And I will see you back here in 20 minutes. All right. Have fun. So I'm going to pause the recording. So I'm just resuming with the recording. Everyone's going to come back in from the breakout room. So if you missed that, then yeah, sorry about that if you're watching the recording. But yeah, please, you know, look at yeah, joining the membership, because this is the kind of thing that we're going to do all the time, really, in the membership, and it's so useful getting together in groups and doing this stuff. And you know, it always surprises me. There's a couple of people on the training today that have a social media background, you know, that they know they have a marketing background, or that's what they do for their clients, but they still struggle to come up with ideas for their own business. So imagine, like, if you don't have a marketing background or a social media background, or you know, you're new to that, it's like, it is actually really hard to come up with ideas for your own business. So yeah, just wanted to say that, and I'm just going to welcome everyone back in. See how everyone has got on. How did everyone find that? Good?
Yes, really good, thanks.
Good.
Yeah.
Lots of good ideas. Good.
Just so helpful to get the others' feedback as well, you know, like they got no idea who I am and what I do, and so then my crap that I reel out, what does it mean to them?
Exactly.
Oh, here we go, we're back.
We all do it. We all do it. It's because you're in it all the time. Just turn up whatever you know, don't you? And you just assume so much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it, when you talk to other people and they're like, oh, people don't know what that word means, or they don't understand that concept, or yeah, because we get so close to our own business that then it's really hard to come up with those ideas. So good. I'm glad you all found that really useful. I'm just going to mute everyone and crack on with the next bit. So how to actually turn an idea into a piece of content. Okay, so this is hopefully going to be really helpful. So I'm going to cover 3 kind of structures that you can use for posts. They're little kind of step-by-steps. But before we do that, there's a couple of points that I want to cover. And the first one is, when you're thinking about creating a piece of content, it's really good to get clear on the intention of that piece of content. So what is the goal for it? What do you want that piece of content to do? Do you want it to attract new leads or followers? Do you want people to do something specific? You know, is it all about driving them to the call to action? And that can be, you know, if you're doing like a free webinar or something like that and you want people to sign up, it could be like, that is the goal. Do you want to convert people? Do you want to educate or inform? You know, do you want to entertain? Do you want to inspire? Do you want to get engagement? Do you want to demonstrate your expertise? Or do you want to share value and kind of nurture, you know, those people that already follow you? Do you want people to book a call, right? So it's like there are so many different goals that we can have with a piece of content, and they're all valid. And I think it's really good to get clear on that, because we can get quite muddled up with coming up with content when we think we're sort of doing one thing, and then we end up sort of, the call to action is maybe something different, or we kind of get a bit muddled up and we're trying to educate, but we're also trying to convert. And it's almost like you're trying to do too much sometimes with one post. So if you get a bit confused and muddled when you're creating a piece of content and you're kind of like, oh, actually, I just don't even know what I'm trying to do anymore, it could be that come back to that, actually, what is my intention with this piece of content? Okay. And to get clear on that, and hopefully then that will give you clarity as to sort of the direction that you want to go in. Yeah, and it massively helps with like editing as well. So when you write a piece and then you want to kind of edit it, or it's a bit long and you want to shave it down or whatever, or it can just really help you focus your mind kind of when it comes to that one piece of content. And an extra sort of tip around that is that you really want to be mixing it up a little bit. So if you like, I really like to educate and sort of teach, kind of that's my kind of zone of genius, is sort of teaching, and I try and do that in my content. But I need to mix it up, you know, I need to make sure that I'm also promoting, I'm also inspiring, I'm also, you know, just doing different things in my content. So if you have a tendency, like kind of watch for that and you think about how can I bring in some different kinds of content so that it's, you know, so that you've got, yeah, just a bit mixed up. And yeah, the second sort of tip really is just around being aware of the platform that you're on. So again, we are talking about social media, but again, you know, email is a little bit different to, you know, an Instagram post or a LinkedIn post, or whatever. Now, absolutely, I'm all for repurposing content. So if you have an email list and you're on, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 social media platforms, absolutely repurpose that piece of content, but you need to think about tweaking it, and, you know, just, yeah, considering it, the differences that you might need to bring depending on the platform. Okay, so the obvious things are Instagram needs a graphic or a photo, right? But you can't include a clickable link, right? And also on LinkedIn, it's better not to put the link in the body of the text, but in a comment. So it's like, you could share it on Facebook and include the link, and then the image of the whatever's on the link will come up. But on Instagram, you need to share a picture. And then it's the same with hashtags. You know, LinkedIn doesn't really use them. You can use a few. Facebook doesn't use them at all. Instagram, you can have up to 30, and that's like the big thing, isn't it? Is hashtags. So a little bit of just definitely repurpose, but just keep your eye on what do you need to tweak if you're, you know, yeah, if you're sharing it across different platforms or different things. So you could have a blog, but do you want to turn that into a post, or do you want to just have an intro to the blog and that's the call to action is, you know, find out more, go here, that kind of thing. And just to say, it does take quite a bit of experimenting. And, you know, I'm not saying that you need to be on every platform. 1 or 2 platforms is enough when it comes to social media. And then it's all about getting good at that one before kind of introducing another one. So I've got 3 structures that I'm going to share with you, and I'll share each one and share an example, and then give you a couple of minutes to sort of try and just note out something that you could use for yourself, so that hopefully at the end you've got the outline of kind of 3 different posts to walk away with. So the first structure is sharing value. Okay, so this is something that we all love to do because we all love to help, sharing value. So the first bit of the post is you really need to get attention. And this is kind of common really with all posts, because you want to stop the scroll, okay? But you need to give them a reason to pay attention, to kind of want to read the next bit or listen to the whole video or whatever. So it could be a piece of interesting information. It could be a fact, or telling them something they don't know. It could be a statistic. So it could be like, you know, 90% of women struggle with menopause symptoms, something like that. Or you could sort of add something to the general conversation about your topic. So an example, and I'm just using my own business, but it could be like, the deeper reason why you're struggling with getting clients is that you're scared of letting people down, of being too busy, of getting overwhelmed, or whatever, right? So I'm kind of going straight in with like, there's a deeper thing going on here, yeah, around why you're not getting clients. And then the next bit is to explain a bit deeper, right? So keep them reading. You want to keep them engaged. So you hook them in at the beginning, and then you want to keep them engaged. So tell them why they're struggling, for example, or tell them what's really going on, or why it's not what they think, or whatever, right? So depending what your kind of headline is, kind of go a little bit deeper into that. So hopefully you can take one of the ideas that you got from your brainstorming and kind of do that. So with my example, it could be, you know, why it's important to go deeper with your understanding of what's going on underneath, and not just push through, you know, the resistance or the struggles that you have, because that's kind of one of my things. So you've got grab attention, keep them reading. So you're sharing values. So you're talking a little bit about either the problem or something about them. And then you want to offer something at the end. So a really small tip or a really small solution, a little win for them. It could be, you know, it could be just that you're empathizing and understanding with, you know, one of their key problems. For me, I like to often offer a little practice for them to do, or a question to consider, or a journaling prompt, or something like that. That can be, you know, because we're talking about sharing value. So yeah, it could be something like that for them to do, just something that just gives them a little bit of a win. So it could be a tip. So you could talk about, you know, people struggle with X, and this is why they struggle with it, and this is one way that you can overcome it, something like that. And then call to action, which I'm going to come on to a bit later. Give them a call to action, give them the next step. So it could just be as simple as, if this has been helpful, sign up to my free webinar, right? So I'll come on to calls to action at the end. So I'll give you just a minute or so just to have a think about this structure of sharing value. And if you've got any questions, then you can unmute and ask, or pop it in the chat. Love it. Everyone beavering away, making lots of notes. Let's give you one more minute on that one. Okay. So I'll share now structure number 2, and this one positions you as an expert in your field. Okay, this is a really, really good one. So the first step of that is to state a common practice or kind of common advice that people hear in your industry, or something that a lot of people do. Okay, so something that's common in your industry. So as an example, for me, it could be, you may think that you have to be really pushy and sell in order to make any money, right? Something like that. Like that's really common that people go, you know, you have to be pushy, you have to be out there, you have to be annoying, you have to sell, right? So that's like a common kind of understanding or kind of advice in my industry. So again, you could take one of your ideas from your brainstorming and just go, right, yeah, this is a common understanding that people kind of have. And the second step is you need to tell people why you think it's wrong, right? So we're not dealing in kind of fact here necessarily, but why do you think that it's wrong, or that it can be done in a, you know, that it can be done in a different way? So my example, people hate being sold to. They like being helped and inspired. Or I could talk about, you know, you feel icky about selling, and so you're avoiding doing it. There is another way, right? So it can be something around why you think that common practice or advice is wrong. And then number 3 is you present your method of why you think it's right or why it works. So yeah, you go, so you've gone common misconception or common thing that people are getting wrong. I think it's wrong because of X. This is how I do it, and this is why it works. So in my example, I could detail my meaningful marketing method and why I think it's better, why I think it actually works better and it feels better. The next step is offering a new perspective, and you don't have to do both of those. It might just be one, but you could offer a new perspective. So I could talk about how actually empathizing with your ideal clients in your marketing and helping them in your marketing, and how that can feel good and how it works, kind of thing. So, and then the last step again is the call to action. Okay, so I could be something like grab my free guide about meaningful marketing or whatever. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to look at that one. So this is positioning you as an expert. So you're stating a common practice, advice, or misconception or something in your industry. Tell people why you think it's wrong. Present your way of doing it and why you think that's right or why it works. Offer a new perspective, and then offer them the next steps of the call to action. So I'll give you a couple of minutes on that one.
Nice, good question, Hils.
Of course.
On that one, I'm just struggling with getting my head around what my industry is.
Okay.
In relation to my book.
Okay, tell me again then what your book.
So my book's a novel aimed at women's fiction. So it's aimed at few audiences, one of them being women who are struggling with the decision about whether or not they would want to be a biological mother.
Yeah.
So I guess it explores questions of, you know, like, how do you know if you want to have kids or not? And then if you haven't had children, what does a meaningful life look like?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a slightly different one, obviously, because it's a novel, but obviously, it, you know, it is a book that will help people that are struggling with that problem, with that decision. So what would be a common kind of practice or common advice in your industry, or something a lot of people do? And it could be as simple as, are you sick of people asking, when are you going to have kids? Right? Because that's quite common, isn't it? And I see people talk about it on social media quite a lot, that they're like, I've decided not to have children, and it drives everyone else mad, and people keep asking me, you know, and it's annoying that people keep asking or assuming. So it could be like, you know, if you're in your 30s and you're sick of people telling you that you're running out of time, something like that, then you can be like, I think it's wrong, you know, A, it's none of their business, B, it's a very personal decision, you know, and actually a lot of it's really common that people struggle with that decision, and that is okay. It's a big decision, right? You know, that kind of thing. And then you can kind of be like, look, I've written a book all about this because I think it's really important that you actually, if you're not sure, that you go introspectively and you really make the right decision. You know, that, do you see how you can kind of, you're taking them on a bit of a journey?
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Hils, I have another question. It's not my industry, but does it work to, so for instance, some people would go to like counselling with the same, with the same kind of problems.
Yeah.
But it's like, could it be like, does just talking about it not work for you? Because what I offer is really practical and experiential.
Yeah. I think that is your industry. I would say,
right,
like if you look at it as like the personal development industry, if you like, because it's like your industry is like wherever anyone goes to get help with that problem. So I think, and it's positioning you as an expert, but it's also positioning what you do and how it's different to counselling. So I think it's definitely really valid to talk about that. Obviously, you don't want to like slag off counselling, you know what I mean? But it's just like you're just talking about maybe you've tried counselling and it didn't work for you. And the reason why it doesn't work for some people is that it only addresses whatever, right? It only goes so deep, or, however you want to state that. So you can start by that lead in of like, you may be considering going to counselling, or you may have tried counselling and it didn't really work for you. This is why it may not have worked for you. And then you go, and this is how I do it, and this is why this works, and how it's different. Do you know what I mean? So you're kind of taking them on that journey.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fab. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll just give you another minute and then we'll do the third structure. Okay, so the third structure is more of a promotional kind of thing, so more kind of promotional. So the first sort of step is to state a common problem that your ideal clients experience, right? So you go straight in with, you're struggling with X, okay? So an example for me might be, you're struggling to figure out your niche, and I totally get it. You're getting really stuck and confused around it, and you're going round and round in circles trying to figure out what your niche is, right? That could be sort of the intro. So stating a common problem that your ideal clients are experiencing. And the next one is really empathizing and showing that you understand the problem. Okay, so and you can do this in so many different ways. In my example, I could share how I struggled when I kind of first started my business and why I struggled. It doesn't have to be a personal story. I could just literally empathize and show them that I understand by saying, the common things that I hear is that people struggle with then, figuring out their niche because X, Y, Z, right? And kind of list some of the common reasons why people struggle with it. Okay, so common problem, empathize and show that you understand the problem. And then the next step is share why it's a problem. Okay, and then you might want to also do that bit that we talked about earlier about how does it affect them and areas of their life. So you could talk about like what the problem really is when maybe they think it's something else. But yeah, kind of really kind of going into like why it's a problem. So it might be that you're saying, talking about like, this is a real problem for you now because it's been a problem for a long time, or it's stopping you from moving forward. It's stopping you from doing something else. So for example, I could then talk about like, if you're not clear or you're too vague and general on your niche, it's like your marketing messaging isn't going to work and the right people are not going to resonate with your content or your copy. You're not going to be attracting your ideal clients, whatever. Okay. So common problem, empathize, share why it's a problem, and then explain how you solve that problem with your clients. Okay, so I could share, I help my clients solve this problem through a process of coaching questions, encouragement, exploration, and supporting a willingness to experiment, in finding your niche. There's lots of different ways that you can look at finding your niche. I kind of feel like it actually finds you in the end. You don't have to go and look for it. So explain how you solve that problem with your clients. And then you tie that to your offer. So you tie that up to your offer. So offer, I mean something that you're selling, okay? So your workshop, your coaching program, or whatever. So I might say, if you're struggling with figuring out your niche and getting clarity on your messaging and creating offers that, for your ideal clients, then I can guide you to that clarity in my 6-month coaching program, blah, 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 whatever, talk about it a little bit. So you want to then, you're introducing the solution, right? Tying that to your offer. And then of course, call to action at the end. So get on a discovery call, DM me, go to my offer page, whatever that is. Okay. So I'll give you a couple of minutes with that one. And if you've got any questions, then just jump on and ask.
Hello, I've got a question.
Hi.
Hi. So I've got to the last bit, and I don't know quite how to solve it for them. So
Okay.
I'm saying their struggle is to find a birthday present, and the challenge is that there's just too much choice out there.
Yeah.
And it's all available at a click of a button with all these online choices. So So the reason why that's not very nice is because by buying just with the click of a button, it feels really impersonal, and yet the gift is meant to be highly personal. So how I solve it, and this is where I struggled, is that my product is kind of unique because each week different flowers will be available.
Yeah.
But that's the product, it's not their interaction. So I was thinking, well, maybe actually they can solve it by having a personalized message. But then I was thinking, well, you get that with Amazon anyway. So
how do people buy a bouquet from you? Do they buy from a photo on the website, or do you have a conversation with them, or?
It's just a photo on the website, which is taken at a single point in time. So that photo doesn't really represent literally their bouquet, actually.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a sized bouquet. It's size. So yeah.
But of course, it's kind of seasonal. Is there an option that people could email and say, this is a birthday present for my mum, she absolutely loves X, Y, and Z, or these colours, or and if you can include any of those, that would be great. Or like, is there sort of a bit more of a personal service that you can offer there?
There can be. I mean, it's not something that happens that often, but yeah, it can be. I can certainly, say, drop us a line. I'm happy to tell you what's available at the moment.
Because it could be
I want to be in your bouquet. I tend to do that afterwards, actually, thinking about it. What I tend to do that I think is sort of slightly different to most grower florists is I generally take a photo of the bouquet either in my studio or outside the door when it's being delivered, and I email it back to them and I say, this is what your person received, and in it is dahlias this week, and I'll describe the I'll say literally list what's in there, and often they say, oh wow, that's really, because they're not there to give the gift. They don't get the sort of oh, that's lovely. So I do like a follow-up, so maybe that's the thing. My only worry about that is just that if it's something that's quite unique to me, I don't want other people to copy it. So it's like really tricky, that.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I think, take it as a compliment if they do, kind of thing. But I think, I get it. It's hard because it's so sort of commercialized now, isn't it? That, like you say, you can just go on and click a button and da-da-da, but actually they've no idea really of the quality of what they're selling. So I think, you know, you positioning yourself, your point of difference, I would say, needs to be more that personal service, that you know, that trust in you, that you will use flowers that are you know, that are definitely fresh, that are in season, that will last longer, and, you know, all of those sorts of things. And yeah, maybe that's an option that you put on your website to sort of say, look, you know, if you want something specific, we can jump on a quick call and I can tell you what I've got or what I would include, and you can, you know, you could tweak it. Because one of the things that you could do with that, I'm sure you have different price points, different bouquets.
Yeah.
Points. If you got on the phone with somebody and they went, oh, but I love that, I love dahlias, or she loves dahlias, oh, and I'd love, oh yeah, and a bit, and I'd love that as always, I can't choose. And you'd be like, well, we could just up you to the next price point, you know. And you could be like, you know, they might be going, yeah, I want a £30 bouquet or whatever, and you go, well, we could do that, we could include all of that, and it's £40 or it's whatever. And you could almost bespoke price it, and then they get, you know, what they want, and you maybe kind of upgrade people. Obviously you've got your time, you know, you don't want to have loads of phone calls or whatever, but that could be a way of just, I think for you it is about differentiating and really looking at that local, quality, seasonal, you know, all of that kind of thing. You know, and saying that they get a picture of their bouquet so that they know what the person's received, because they might not, if they don't know that up front. I mean, it's a nice to have, it's definitely a lovely surprise and delight thing, but it, you know, so yeah, I get it. It's yeah. Hard.
Okay. Oh, that's really still. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, I'm going to talk about calls to action and how to kind of segue from serving and helping in your marketing to kind of promoting without it feeling really icky, because a lot of us can feel quite icky with that when we kind of go, oh, this post is lovely and I've been helping people, but then it's like, I feel a bit weird kind of, you know, selling at the end of it. So it's a really simple method. It's just serve, then sell, and all you're doing is offering them the next step. Okay, so really think about it as it's all in service. Okay, so whatever you do in your post, whether you're sharing what you know, you're helping them in some way, or helping them understand the problem, you're just offering them the next step. Okay, so it may be something like, if you're ready to take the next step, go here. If this is something that you're struggling with and you want to change that, let's have a chat. If this resonates and you've had a light bulb today, you know, this is how I can help. You know, it's things like that. So it's really just, you're just helping them, you're just showing them the next step. So yeah, and I really think, you know, for most people, you need to be adding a call to action way more than you are. Not every single time, but probably a lot more than you are doing. You know, particularly, obviously, you're talking social media here, but even in emails, you know, it could be reply and let me know, or, you know, go here and, you know, whatever it is. So I've got a few different kind of calls to action that you can include. And again, like, remember the goal of your piece of content. What was the intention with it? What was the goal of it? And can you link your call to action, you know, so that your content is actually achieving that goal, basically. So here's 3 types of sort of different calls to action. So you could offer a free thing. So whether that is your lead magnet or a free webinar, it could be to join your Facebook group if you've got one, or read your blog, or you're sharing a resource. Or it could be, depending on the platform, it could be, you know, follow me for more tips, whatever. Or if you're on LinkedIn, it could be click on the bell icon. If you don't know what that is, if somebody goes to your profile, there's like a little bell icon. And if they click it, every time you post something, it comes up in their notification feed. So, you know, if you're sharing great content and people start to follow you and click the bell, then every time you share something, it will come up on their feed, and they're more likely then to see it and engage with it. And that's all just you helping, right? It's a call to action, but really it's all just you helping, helping them, you know, with the next step. It could be something to kind of boost engagement. So asking a simple question to get people to comment. on LinkedIn, you can tag people, and that works quite well. I wouldn't do it all the time, but if you're posting something, I don't know, about something specific, and you want to invite other people kind of in your industry to share their voice as well, that can work quite well. You get in front of more people that way. You can use polls, you can invite people to comment in different ways. So yeah, lots of different ways that you can kind of try and drive a bit more engagement. Or of course you can go into actual promotion. So you are offering your paid course, your one-to-one coaching, your bouquets, your group program, whatever it is, it's a direct link. It's, if you want the freshest, best quality flowers in your local area, like click on here now and save this link, or you could, that's the thing, it might be someone's birthday in like 3 or 4 weeks time, but it's like, well, get the bouquet in now, like book it now, and then you're done and you don't have to worry about, remembering their birthday or whatever. So I'm going to just kind of conclude, and if anyone's got any extra questions, I'm happy to hang around a little bit at the end. But I'd love to hear from you. So please share in the chat what's been like your main light bulb today, or an aha, and how do you feel now about creating content? Do you feel a little bit more empowered, a little bit more kind of excited about it? Like, how do you feel now? Could just be one word. Yeah, and you could share those in the chat. And I'm just going to share with the members. So the members in my the Authentic Business Club, this is your homework. I want you to share at least 5 ideas for content, and 5 ideas you've got for content. And for accountability, I want you to share when and where you'll be posting them. And then extra points if you want to share the links once you've posted them in the group, so we can all go and engage with your content. Check the chat, and I'll share that when I post the replay as well. So love the brainstorming session, great. Taking a more strategic approach, yeah, mixing it up and being clear on the intention. Yeah, it's a big one, isn't it? Feel encouraged, that's good. It's all really inspiring and motivating. Brilliant session. Great to have more structure. Yeah, the structures are great for just it quicker and easier. Just quicker and easier. And I'm not saying just use those 3, but it's like, it's a way of kickstarting your kind of creativity. And then once you get a bit better at creating content, you can, come off the structure a bit, if you like. So I'm going to share a little bit about the Authentic Business Club. Members, if you want to share in the chat anything that you would like to share about being a member, that would be great. Absolutely no pressure. But if you if you want to share how you're enjoying the membership, that'd be great. Obviously, we're only kind of 3.5 weeks in, because it only started in August. So it is quite new still. And if anybody wants to share their contact details, as Bethan said at the beginning, you can do that, and then you can network with each other off the call. So maybe, if everyone does that and stays on, and then you can save the chat at the end. So for some of you, what you've learned today will be enough, and you'll be able to go and implement it, use the 3 structures, use more calls to action, and come up with more ideas for content using those ideal client questions. But I know for many of you, you will also get stuck, because it can feel really easy to learn something and you get all energized when you're learning it, and it feels like, yeah, I can do this. But it's kind of a whole different ball game to actually implement it in your business, to actually do it consistently, regularly, week in, week out, and to build momentum with your business. And where a lot of people get stuck that I see is with procrastination, lack of accountability, the overthinking. How many of us overthink and just take ages to do stuff? The things like not being clear on your niche, or not having the right offers, or the right ideal clients, and the self-doubt, the perfectionism, the lack of confidence, all of that stuff, of course, can show up and trip us up, basically, can show up and trip us up as we are, trying to implement things. And of course, the way to kind of get past that is through getting some support. So one way is being part of a supportive group. like my membership, the Authentic Business Club. It gives you accountability. You're gonna have training sessions like this. You're gonna learn what you need to learn. That's really specific to your kind of business. So I work with women with service-based businesses. And of course, you'll have me, an experienced business coach, available to support and encourage you. We do lots of other things in the membership. Various business and marketing trainings. We do group coaching call each month so that you can just jump on, get some help in the hot seat, get some coaching. And then I do a sort of personal development growth, confidence growth session a month as well. And then quarterly, we do goal setting and planning sessions. And then obviously in the group, you get accountability, support and all of that. So a couple of the members are sharing. Thank you so much. Great for encouraging me to bringing consistency, attention to my business and education. It gives regular inspiration and support. And a community, yeah, it's so important to have that community. Love the memberships, helping me to keep progressing and focused on my business. I also love the support of the group and Hils, and having a place to share my struggles that is supportive is great. Yeah, it's really supportive. Yeah, you know, it's really a place to share everything that's going on for you, and feel not alone, you know, and particularly not just with the how do I do this, that practical stuff, but that inner mindset and the confidence stuff, because that is what really trips us up, I find, over time, is that we might know how to do something, but actually implementing it can often be the hard part. So yeah, we do some deeper mindset and confidence work, addressing those blocks underneath, and yeah, learning all the practical marketing and business things that you need to know, such as creating content, creating offers, really understanding your ideal clients. We're going to look at sales, how to write copy, figuring out your niche, your business model, getting strategic. Like, there's so much to running a business and to marketing that, you know, the trainings are going to cover all of that. It's a rolling monthly subscription. The group subscription is £44 a month, or if you want a one-to-one coaching session with me, in addition to that, it's £222 per month. You can cancel anytime, but I just ask for a minimum 3-month commitment to start with, so that you just have a bit of time to settle into the group, learn some things and implement them, and really start to see results in your business. I'll put the link in the chat, and I will follow up with an email anyway and send out the recording to you as well. But if you're kind of sick of doing it on your own and you're ready to get really serious about making your business a success, whatever that means to you, different for everyone, and you want to do business and market and sell in a way that feels good to you, including earning what you deserve and genuinely helping people, then I just think you need this in your life. I can stay on for any questions, and I'd absolutely love to invite all of you that aren't members to become a member. I've shared the link there. It's called the Authentic Business Club, and you can just sign up there on the website. But if you want to have a chat with me, then you can have a chat with me. Let me just, I think actually in that link on the website, you can book a discovery call as well. So if you want to have a private chat with me, you can. But I've got a few minutes if anybody's got any questions or wants help with anything, or just wants to say hello and goodbye or whatever, then just unmute. And thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye, Sarah.
Oh, thank you, Hils. This is amazing. Thank you, thank you. Zoom chucked me out like 3 times. So sorry. I have no idea why they did that. But it meant that I lost all the chat, and I can now only save from like the last minute. Do you mind saving the chat so I can read it all from before? And then I missed the bit where you're talking about your club as well, and I was like, get me back in.
Well, I can tell you that.
So thank you. It's brilliant.
I'll send you the chat. I'll just wait. Yeah, we're finished.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Hils. Nice to meet everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Hilary, I'd love to have a little chat.
Great. Yeah, just click on that link and then book a discovery call, and we can have a chat.
Could I just ask a bit of a cheeky question? I'll definitely have a look at the membership. It's been a really interesting time, so I'll just have a look at a few details and think about that. But because of some of this, and the structure has been really helpful. A lot of my stuff would be going via email to kind of maybe the business leader rather than necessarily the actual client. How many times is okay to kind of email people?
Yeah, it's quite a big question, that, because from a GDPR perspective as well, you've got to be
it's really hard to get there.
If they're kind of subscribed into receiving kind of marketing. So tell me again, who's receiving the emails, and are they the decision maker, or?
Yeah, quite often the decision maker rather than the person that might have the coaching.
Oh, right.
But I think maybe some of this might have kind of opened up defining my niche. And could be angling it a different way.
If in your marketing you speak to sort of the person that needs the help, then they might.
I'm aware I need to do
system to be like to the decision maker to go, hey, I really want some help from this woman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's interesting, and some businesses have that, where you've almost got the ideal client, and then like the decision maker might be someone different.
Might be different. Yeah,
you kind of need to speak to both somehow. I think when it comes to kind of any content, really, as long as it's interesting and engaging and helpful and all of that, I think you're not annoying, if that makes sense. It's annoying.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
sell. Then
but there are people I'll read all the time. Yeah, no, I get that. Okay.
So
I will work on that.
Giving them little tips or hints, or value in your emails, and then interspersing the promoting kind of with that, and then it's not going to be annoying. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Frequently, because you definitely want to be emailing, I'd say at least once a week.
Okay.
Ideally. Some people do like a monthly newsletter, but yeah, it kind of depends. But if you want to be front of mind for people,
it's more often, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. They can be short. They could be super short sometimes. They could just be a few lines. It doesn't have to be an essay each time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. And in your club, is the kind of that subject title an important, like the subject title of an email is quite interesting to try and headline something.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, the email subject. Yeah, it's quite an art form, I think, to come. Quite a lot of.
That's what I've got to learn as a copywriter, and that's a very, as I understand it, that's a really important skill, because it's the make or break whether someone's going to actually open your email. So that's actually your first thing you've got to get right. It's almost the most important thing that businesses actually forget about, because that's the hook. That's what's going to make people decide to really go into your email. And then you repeat that, and then you've got your subheadings, and there's got to be some structure to it all with your clear call to actions. That's how I understand it.
Absolutely. And with all three of those structures, you kind of want to hook people at the beginning anyway. So whether it's a post on social media or whether it's an email, that hook would kind of
still important in all areas.
In that subject. And often for me, that's the last thing that I write. So I'll write the whole thing, and often through writing it, I'll come up with a funny little nugget of something sort of a way of sort of describe, like, I don't know, a way of summarizing it, or it's just a hook of like, oh, this is what they're going to get from this is what they're going to learn, or this is what they're going to whatever.
And it's still got to be in that brand voice and tone of voice that you're trying to engage with your audience about, so that they get some sort of consistency and they get to know, oh yes, that's so and so, because that's their style, and they recognize it.
But you know what? There's no like one rule with things like that. It takes quite a lot of practice and experimentation and seeing what works and tracking it. That's the important thing. Is like actually analyzing it. So when I tried this headline, like how many people, what was my open rate? And, when I tried this, what was the open rate? And you can kind of just play with it a little bit to sort of see. And again, you've got to mix it up. It can't be the same kind of stuff
thing all the time
either. So it's, big experiment, that one. And that's what
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
It's been very interesting. Thanks.
Welcome.
Take care.
Thanks.